Hello. Welcome everyone to JLABTV. I am JLAB. This is Football Manager 2021, the Youth Academy challenge with Siena. If you like this kind of videos, be sure to like and share these videos and to subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a lot. Napoli have just sacked their manager, and immediately we have been speculated as the successor to the job. And this was not something I was expecting. We're at the last day of season 2, so we've got a game which could see us go up into a very decent position. But Napoli have sacked their manager, and immediately I was literally the only candidate named for this role, which for me is a bit of a big deal since I was not expecting it. And I also say, we're 1-3 on to be the next manager. If it wasn't for the fact that I was going to say this stuff the entire time, I would not have honestly been upset. But yeah, apparently this is the worst finish since 2020. So yes, this is a bad season. 15 years. Oh dear. Yet this team is not a bad team. The fact this is the worst finish since 2020 is saying a lot. Look at how consistent they've been since 2020, by the way. Second, third, first, second, third, fourth, second, first, third, first, third, second. This has been one of the most consistent teams out there outside of Juventus, and they've failed this year. They are only going to be in 6th place. It's the worst finish since 2020, like they said, which is still remarkable to say the least, but it's the first time they're going to be outside of the Champions League football since 2020, and I've been linked to the role, which is kind of flattering, to be completely honest with you. But again, I don't think I want it. And that is not me saying I don't want to take on the role. It's more, I don't want to leave my current post. And the Siena challenge is very, very exciting. Looking at their managers, they've only had 3 managers. One of them is just outright retired in Valverde. He's retired at the age of 70. He's a legend at the club. He won 2 Serie A titles, so he's already got more than at least a third of their titles by himself. Gattuso has got a league title with Napoli too, as well as a Coppa Italia, 2 of them, and he won the Europa League. Valverde was a legend of the club because he won 2 league titles, won the Europa League twice, and won the Coppa Italia twice. So he also won the Super Cup at least once. So no, he won 3 Coppa Italias, so he did really well for himself. Very, very good manager, but 2 Europa Leagues as well. That's a very good run. It makes me realize just how good this team have been, and the fact that this is the first manager they've had that's not won the league and has been sacked, and they've had a manager for at least 3 years every single time. But he's still won cup competitions. He's still won the UEFA Super Cup. He still won the Super Cup, Italian Super Cup, and they still won the Coppa Italia this season. And he still got sacked because of his league position. That is still surprising, and it says a lot how consistent they are with their team. I'm not interested in the Napoli job. But yes, I'm not going to go and do that job. I don't want to do it. As much as it would be cool to do, I don't want to have the job, and I don't want to take it on. That being said though, what's happened since we last met? Because we've had a lot of games since we last met. First game we had was against Napoli, actually, ironically enough, and we lost this game 2-0 after Brazzoni got sent off for 60 minutes. The annoying part is this goal only came because of the rebound. After Basilica could not hold on to the ball, and then just 2 minutes later they scored from this corner. 2-0, Napoli deserved the win. The fact we went down to 10 minutes and 60 minutes due to a horrifying tackle from Brazzoni really just made me realize I don't want him. I think he went studs up, which is saying a lot. But again, he got sent off inside 60 minutes. I couldn't justify really using him anymore. And he was playing as a ball-winning midfielder. So, yeah, not good. At least I think he was playing. It might have been inside forward, but he got sent off very early on. And it just, well, when we're down to 10 men, and this is how bad we're doing, I don't think you can justify really continuing on. 22 shots out 2. They deserve the win. It was a question of when they'll score, not if they'd score. The next game we had was away from home against Udinese, and we actually went behind inside 10 minutes. And honestly, I was so frustrated with this goal because it felt like they got lucky with the goal. But we started to kick on just in the 27th minute of the game. Barbini places across. It finds Bondi. Bondi with the goal. 1-0. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, we could do something. We've got to work for this and see what we can do. We do work on this. Pigneri finds Oliver, who scores to make it 2-1. We are in front for the first one in a long time, and looking for our first win in 7. Then the score from Fantozzi comes in. It finds Andrea Colucci, and yes, 3-1, game 7 match. Did we deserve this game? Probably not, honestly. We had the same amount of shots as they did. We just took our chances. They didn't. So again, we just had to take it and go home with all 3 points and just get the hell out of there, really. Because I just wanted that victory. I needed this victory so desperately. And thankfully we got it. So hooray for us, right? Hooray for us. We then hosted Frosinone, and after beating them 4-0 last time, we've beaten them 2-0 this time. Bondi finds Oliver, who scores again 2 goals in 2 matches. He's back on form, it feels like. And then this cross comes in from Oliver, and honestly, this is one of the best goals you ever see. Is this the best goal we've seen so far from Conte? Probably. When he scores, he sometimes comes out with special moments like that, and that was another special moment. We deserve this win. I really feel like we could have got more than 2 goals, but again, it was just a good performance on the day, and I felt like we had a very good time of it. 2-0 against Frosinone in a game that I felt we needed to win. Our next game was against Lazio, and we got smashed, especially when this sort of finish goes in inside 5 minutes. One of the best goals so far, and then they score from this free kick. Jude Bellingham scored after they missed a penalty early on, and then in the second half, they got 2 more goals. It was a very embarrassing situation for us. But again, the net goal goes in from Banshee. Good goal from him. And again, we just tried to clear our lines. It didn't work. It was about 2 goals in about 2 minutes or something like that. And Sands with this finish. It was very fortunate some of the goals were conceded, honestly, for their point of view. But again, I kind of wish we did more. We didn't do well. And 2 goals in 2 minutes kind of killed any momentum, any chance we had of coming back into this. But they had 24 shots to our 6, so they kind of deserved the win. I can't complain about the result. We then took a Genoa, and we conceded inside 2 minutes from this free kick. It was a very good finish. I actually missed a penalty just before half time, and I was thinking, oh, it's going to be one of those games, isn't it? But then Pigneri does this, and he gets his first ever goal. I think it's his first ever goal. And I'm thinking, yes, have you arrived onto the scene? Well, we got a draw, and this penalty miss actually is pretty bad. We should have won this game, and this penalty miss kind of sums up our day. Because I thought he was going to score this. Instead, he blasts over the bar. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. We had twice as many shots, but we only had 2 shots on target compared to their 3, so we did not deserve this game at all. Yes, with the chances, but we definitely did not take them at all. I think we're a bit unfortunate not to win, but if we don't get our shots on target, then we don't deserve to win. We then took on Hellas Verona, and we conceded inside the 26th minute of the game after Kolo gets his chance, and, well, he scores his chance. 1-0 to Hellas Verona. We do equalise in the 54th minute of the game, however. Barbini finds Fantozzi, who goes for goal from there and scores from outside the area. Good finish from him. They do go back in front, unfortunately, and I was legitimately thinking, have we messed this up? Because look at the space Peroni has to himself, and when you got that much space, and you got a 3-1 goal, you're going to have a good chance to score, aren't you? However, in the 94th minute of the game, we somehow managed to escape with at least a share of the spoils. Oliver with the header, good finish, and again, a bit lucky. I feel like we were a bit lucky at times, even if we had the chances and we didn't take them. If we take our chances and don't have 9 shots off target, we might have actually done something with this, but we didn't. And yeah, 9 shots off target. We had 7 clear-cut chances in this game, and we only scored twice with them. If that doesn't tell you how bad we were finishing-wise, I don't know what does, but we got to share the spoils and we avoided defeat, so yay! Yay for that at least. We then took on Torino and we went behind, and this is despite the fact I'm happy with this performance because of the fact we went ahead, we went behind, Millet with the only goal for them, but we come back and we get 2 goals in the second half. The tackle there sums up how bad their defending was, but Bondi finds Fantozzi, who finds Luigi Lucchini. Goal for him. Good, good, good. Can we do more? Yes, we can. Pigneri loses out here. DiBiase gets it across to find Pigneri, who actually goes for goal, but then Fugaza scores on the rebound. A bit lucky for us. A goal I was complaining about earlier myself, that kind of finish, but we got a share, and we finally win. The first one in a long while. I mean, we took 2 wins in a row, and then we go about 4 games about win, but again, I'm just happy we won, and that's all I care about. So, 3 points for us. We deserve the win, and honestly, if we hadn't have won, I would have been a little disappointed, but again, we deserve the win, and that's all I care about. all 3 points. Our next game was away from home against Inter Milan, and defensively, when we give away a pass like that and they score from a mistake, it really tells you how bad our day is going to go, doesn't it? But we score from a corner, just literally 2 minutes later, Oberti with his second goal of the season, and I'm thinking, yay, we've got to share the spoils. I don't know how we got away with this one, but if I was Inter Milan, I'd be a little peeved that we did not do better here. Either way though, share the spoils against Inter Milan. I'll take that every day of the week. Thank you very much indeed. So our last game before we met up was against Fiorentina at home, and we came from behind. Santamaria, who got a hat-trick last time, got a goal again. He's got 4 goals against us this season, and we decided to turn up the heat. Actually, I just changed from attacking to control or possession or positive, and Pigneri scored with a header. I don't know how he did. He's 5'5". We then scored this winner. Fofana scored his first goal of the season, ensured that we got a victory against our local rivals at home for the 2nd year running, Fiorentina. I don't know how we beat them, but again, apparently we deserved the win. So it was one of those games where you thought, are we going to do it? Are we not going to do it? But Pigneri actually had a good game here. And for me, it wasn't the man of the match. Fofana got that, but Pigneri with a goal and assist showed to me what we have in store for us next season, if he can turn up the heat and if he can perform. So I'm excited to see what he can do. He's now suspended for the next game because he got his 5th booking of the season already, but that's fine. That being said though, what has that done for us in the league table? So we're definitely going to finish in at least 10th place. We've got Spal next, Inter host Atalanta, and Fiorentina host Bari. Now, if we win, we could finish potentially in 8th place if both Atalanta and Fiorentina lose. I don't see Fiorentina losing to Bari somehow, who are relegated, bottom of the table, which means our parent club are going down, which I'm hoping means we could potentially make them our affiliate club instead, maybe? Question mark. I like to think we could. If it doesn't happen, then I feel like I've been robbed somehow, because I've seen it before where it's swapped around. The Watford and Udinese link literally swapped around before. So if we can do that, then that's great for us, isn't it? Either way though, Torino got relegated in the last day of the season, so they are down again. Chievo Verona, who got 2 successive promotions, by the way. I didn't realise this was the case, but they got 2 successive promotions to get to Serie A, are going straight back down. And Bari, in just their 2nd season, are going down again. Siena getting their first ever top half finish in Serie A is great. They've never done this in real life, so this is organically now our best ever finish. We've just got to hope that we can beat Spal. If we win, we've got a good chance. It's just a matter of making sure we do it. Basilico starting in goal, Barbini on the right, Oberti and Colucci in the 2 centre-back positions, Di Biasi on the left, Fantozzi and Conte, the 2 midfielders, Bondi on the right, Fugazi in the middle, Luigi Lucchini on the left, and Oliver as the striker, looking to get his 20th goal in the league for the 5th straight season. He's only 1 shy of that so far. If he can get his 20th goal, then all is forgiven. Even if he's got the worst average rating so far in his career, which is saying a bloody lot. Out wide to Bondi, who can run at the defence and will use his pace to his advantage. Finds Oliver instead though, goes for goal potentially, has done. There we go. 148 league goals now, his 20th league goal of the year. He has not broken his duck. He continues his record of consecutive seasons with 20 plus goals in a year. It's his 5th season running. He is our star striker right now, even if he's not being paid as half as much as Bondi. But there you go. 1-0, 30 minutes in. We're looking good for 9th place. That's not a penalty, thankfully. But Alberti plays for Conte. But then they just boot the ball forward with no real ambition. Colombo on the ball. And Taviani has scored an equaliser. And maybe our chance of getting higher than 10th is dying. That is a concern. We're going to tell Conte to ease off tackles though. But that's not a good sign. We just didn't have a plan in mind for what we wanted to do with the ball afterwards. And the fact that we've given the ball away and they've equalised is not good for us. And it's not helping our cause, is it, to get higher than 10th place this year? We've got a chance potentially coming from this. We're going to take Conte off after this highlight. But Barbini on the ball finds Lenzi, who's come on for Luigi. Because Bondi's now on the other side. And look at that ball. Oh, it's an own goal. It looks like it is an own goal. How embarrassing that is for them. That's the first own goal we've had in our favour this season, actually, which is a bit of a shock, to say the least. But we'll take it. And they're trying to float their crosses in too. But yes, this is a bit fortunate that Lenzi places a cross. I don't know who messes this up. It looks like the defender. Yeah, the defender's not dealt with it properly. And we get ourselves back in front. So we have won the last game of the season, and Fiorentina, I can't believe I'm saying this, Fiorentina were hit for 5 by Bari, 5-2 in the end, in a game I saw briefly. Very good performance in the end. It wasn't pretty how we got the result, but I still am happy with the result. As things stand, if Atalanta do not get a point against Inter Milan, we finish in 8th place. What a season that is for us in the end, honestly. 10 points there of the bottom half of the table too. A massive overachievement. We're at least going to finish in 9th place. I literally said we're finishing in 10th because I didn't think Fiorentina would drop points, but they have. That's a good result. A very, very, very good result. And I can't believe that's the case. Let's see how Inter got on against Atalanta and see if we actually did finish in 8th place after all in this season. So Atalanta did win in the end, so they do finish above us. We finished in 9th place in our 2nd season in Serie A. That, for me, is a very good season. First time we finished in the top half in our history in Serie A, and we finished above our fierce rivals Fiorentina, who must be having very stern words with their players and their managers. The fact we only finished 3 points off 7th place. Now I look at this, is actually kind of heartbreaking because we could have gone to Europe in our 2nd season. But again, not the end of the world. We still got a top half finish, which is what I was looking for after we had such a strong start. And we finished with 23 more points than last season. It's easily been our best season so far, honestly, because we got into this top half of the Serie A with a team that was only expected to finish in 19th at best. So it's a good season, and the team's also improving very, very well. I'm excited for next season. But that being said, who is going to be coming up to meet us next season from Serie B? Let's see how that ends up being the case, and who's coming up with Sassuolo and Sampdoria next season. And also, let's see the end of the season highlights, shall we? So here we are. The 2034-35 season at Siena has been a very good one. We've made no signings, but we let a load of players go on loan or departing permanently. Christian Vieri didn't make a single appearance for his new club, but again, it's not surprising he was signed for their youth team. Under 18s, the fact he left for 100,000 is still amazing to me. I don't know if we'll get that money back, but we've got a clause that we will be able to get money from him anyway if he was to be sold on, which is very, very good for us. And Matteo Chievo only made 3 appearances for Napoli, but Thierry, who left at the end of the season, only got 9 appearances from the bench of his team, while Pochettino only made 26 appearances from his team on the bench. And Gabriel Antonucci actually went to Cittadella. He actually played quite a few times for them too, so he wasn't without game time. So I'm happy for this guy because I still have fond memories of him with his 218 appearances for us and his 10 goals. The fact he managed to get a spell in Cittadella and is actually still very much in their game plan, that's great news to me. Loan deals, well, we had a few players go on loan. Leder did not have the best of times at his team, who got relegated, but he still did a decent performance. Bergani is potentially doing well. Giri on loan at Caresse. Padova not only won the league, but they also won the cup too. And for me, that's a good sign. Toma did really well with his team, I think. I say that. He didn't do the best at average rating, but he made a lot of appearances for his team. Malbito actually 2 goals and 8 assists is not a bad return. It's just a shame his average rating was rubbish and he has not developed at all. I knew I was going to let him go at the end of the season, and now I have no doubt about that. He's being let go at the end of the year. It's just a shame his club that he's on loan to just got relegated, honestly. But yeah, we finished in the top half of the season, 9th place, our best season ever. And we finished above Fiorentina, which is amazing. 10 places above where we expected to be. Oliver got 20 league goals. We had times we weren't so great, like the first 3 games we got no wins, and then the game against Roma we just decided to turn up one day and thought, yeah, we're going to beat you. We didn't finish about Atalanta, but we were only 3 points away from a European spot in the end. This run of form here, the Roma, Sampdoria, Chievo Verona, Juventus, Milan, Bari, and Napoli run the games. That cost us a European spot. Like the Chievo Verona game, should have got 2 more points there. The Bari game should have got 2 more points there. So we dropped points against the bottom 2 teams. And for me, that is where we slipped up. We beat Torino twice this year, so we knew we couldn't avoid that. Bari, did we beat them at all? We beat them 4-0 as well, so that makes it even more annoying for me. Udinese we dropped 2 points against at home. Again, a disappointment. Sampdoria we dropped 2 points against. Again, annoying. If there's some games we should have not have dropped points in, but again, it's one of those seasons where you want to do well, but you can't. Cagliari, I feel like we should have done better against them, but they were mid-table, so it's not the end of the world. There are some teams we should not have gotten points against either, though, so it kind of comes around, and we looked like we did decent. Like, we dropped points against Sampdoria twice, so I don't know what it was about Sampdoria. We just did not do well against them. We dropped 4 points against Sampdoria, who actually survived because of those 4 points, so there you go. Coppa Italia, we got to the first round for the first time as well, so that's a good season for us as far as we're concerned. And I'm just really happy with the season in that regards. Moments to remember, the 4-0 win against Tiva Verona, where Lenzi got a 4-goal hat-trick. The match to remember was the 2-0 win against Roma, but the biggest win was against Tiva Verona, one of 2 games we won 4-0. And the goal of the season was Lucchini's goal against Siena. And yeah, I remember that now. This year, financially, we've got more money from sponsorships, we've got more money from broadcasting rights, more money from corporate hospitalities, more competition prize money too, and matchday commercial and retail we've got more money with, and matchday commercial and retail we've got more money with too. I don't think we really improved our reputation, unfortunately, but shirt sales, we made some money from that. We made 404,000 from merchandise sales. We sold 3,322 shirts. Oliver, Bondi, Bozzoni, Conti, and Fantozzi were the shirts that sold the most, which is pretty much our front three, and then our midfield. How we lined up? Well, we did this formation again. It makes sense to do it, and it just works for us this year. Lucchini gained an average rating of 7.02, despite the fact he only played 23 times as good. Basilico, again, proving his quality at 7.01 rating. Accolades, Oliver, the player of the season again. He always wins it, but Bondi gets the most assists once more. Average rating of Lucchini. Conte got the most passes completed per 90 minutes, 44. Fantozzi got the worst discipline record, which is annoying. 15 yellow cards and 2 reds. Another player that I need to look into. But he's broken the record for most league appearances now. 364 players. A player from our own academy is doing that is great. And Oliver with 148 league goals now. Also, makes me feel very happy inside. It really does, just to know that we got players like that who could do it. We haven't got any accolades ourselves, but again, we didn't need it, and that's what we wanted. But yes, by far and away, our best ever season in Serie A. The fact we finished 4 places above and comfortably eclipsed our previous best record of 44 points in the league is very, very promising indeed. Just a matter of, can we do more with this, hopefully? There's still a lot of players here from the club at 2028. There's a few that have gone elsewhere, like Camanetti has retired outright now. Campanotti is now retired as well. Zaldi has retired at the age of 23. Alioni retired, 26. Scarpato actually retired this year at the age of 28. He couldn't find another club, sadly for him. Contadini's also retired too at the age of 23. And yeah, it was a bit disappointing to see that one. Militano also retired at the age of 24, and Ferrara, who's got a nice afro, retired at the age of 23. So a few players of ours have actually retired outright. Sanelli, on loan for Benevento. I don't see him having a good season career now. I hope he gets a new club soon. I really do. He needs a new club. That being said, though, we actually finished with less points than we were predicted. We were predicted by our performances to be in 7th place. Could you believe it? That is a lot of faith for the XG to give us, honestly. I don't know if I like that or not. They want us to fight brave against relegation. Thank God I still want that. I'm happy that is the case. Could I negotiate the set pieces one, though? They're happy with that. Okay, good. That's literally what I want. So we got rid of the set pieces thing, which is annoying me. And they want us to talk about the new season. So let's see we go. And I think we're going to be in the relegation fight again. The fact that they are happy with this is good. And we're going to do it again. We're going to give younger players an opportunity again. Everyone loves this. Everyone loves this. And for me, that is great. And they love the youth transfer things. They always do. For me, it's a sign of progress. And the team is in a very good position right now. We got a few weaknesses, though, unfortunately for us. And I say a few weaknesses. We've got a lot of weaknesses to look into. But again, nobody had... We had 3 broken foots. What? 3 players had broken foots this year. I just realized. Another player had a damaged ligament. Another player has torn knee ligaments. Wow, we had a lot of bad injuries this year, didn't we? Good lord. I did not realize we had 3 broken foots this year. And only one of them was a player that I genuinely felt we could use a lot. We had a lot of injuries for some of these players too. Some players had 6 different injuries. That is remarkably bad. I did not realize it was as bad. Goodness. We're going to go to Austria again. I love Austria just because of this. He got the player of the week because for doing well, and again, we did quite nicely for ourselves. We got third place in Jack Oliver for the goal score in the end, and yeah, the fact that Oliver only got third place because he played he played more is not at the end of the world, but it's not ideal. Either way, this is the big good season for us, isn't it? And the board had given us a wage budget of 475,000 and a transfer budget of 25.38 million. So we finally got to the end of the season. Only Udinese of the new promoted clubs have survived, barring the team that took their place though, and they only survived for 2 seasons. Teams coming up though from Serie B are Sassuolo, Subtuo and Parma. So the teams that literally came down last year. Yeah, that's almost anticlimactic, isn't it, when you think about it that way? But the fact we've got 9th place is a good sign, and it gives us hope for the future. I just wasn't expecting that to happen, honestly. That being said, we've also got some new members of staff, which I've forgotten to mention all this time. While we're waiting for our new team to come up from Serie B, we actually lost one of our scouts in Marco Gianpaolo to Sassuolo. He's time for them. He's a decent scout, perfectionist personality, so I would have loved to see him as a head of youth development, but I'm not sure if he would have done the role perfectly, but again, he could have been good. It would have been nice to see that in our situation, but again, it's not ideal at the end of the day. What we did do instead was get a load of people before he even signed up, and we actually asked the board for new physios, new coaches, new scouts available, and we got them all. So yes, we got this guy who's under the 18s physio, not the best, but under 18s, it's almost not an issue. But then we managed to get our hands on Sam Costan, so he brings a lot of knowledge to us of Holland, Belgium, Germany, Denmark, Norway, Sweden. We didn't have any of those before. Even gives us something to report somehow, but even Germany we didn't have the knowledge of, which is a bit surprising when I think about it, but at least we've got it now, right? We also brought Odai Coulson. He was a coach that had no team before, apparently, which I was a bit surprised to find out about, considering how good he is. But we've got him in now, and he was helping give an extra depth for strength in the coaching team. Elliot Plant, though, another person we found that apparently didn't have a team beforehand. He's an amazing fitness coach, 4.5 stars for his work. So we managed to get Jimmy Ball from Forest Green Rovers as a coach. He looks decent. He's actually pretty decent. He's not the best. He's about 4 stars, which is still pretty good for a lot of teams. And I was very happy to bring him in. So again, good person to bring into the team. 58 years of age. He's got a few years left, but he might retire sooner rather than later, so who knows. We managed to bring in Luis Vinagre as a physio. Portuguese. He's pretty good, isn't he? We managed to bring in Joseph Maria Gaulania as our recruitment analysis. He is not bad. I think he might be our best one, which is not a good thing when I think about that out loud. But again, I'm happy we brought him in. And last but not least, we just got our new scout in Antonis Lemonakis. He replaced the outgoing Marco, who went to Sassuolo. He gives us knowledge of Greece, Cyprus, France, Portugal, Spain, Serbia. Now, Serbia, Cyprus, and Greece we didn't have beforehand before this guy turned up. He's been around a few places. He was a performance analysis at Everton, Watford, Olympiacos, PAOK as well. And then he ended up going to Preston in 2022. And he's been there ever since for 13 years. We just picked him up. So extra knowledge for us is very, very good, especially since I think having the knowledge of Nigeria actually helped with our youth intake last year, which is actually kind of promising, to say the least. Well, looking at our team right now, I would have to say this is a good team at the moment. And we placed Fugaza with Pigneri, who's actually pretty damn solid now. Probably the best player in that position. Lucchini could actually be replaced by Pigneri as well. So Pigneri could technically play there on the left-hand side if we really wanted to. And we could have Barcenti in the middle, who is not bad. He's back from injury now. He's actually starting to get better in his physicals again. It's just a shame about his bravery being shot after his broken foot. But again, what can you really do in a situation? I think for the most part, this is going to be our starting lineup though, if we have the opportunity to do so. Basilico is the main goalkeeper. He's going to be the main goalkeeper for a long time. He's got a 4-year deal and he's now worth 1.1 million. Whether he'll ever get a cap for Italy, I don't think he will, but it's nice to think that we got this very reliable talent playing for us now. He's made 61 appearances for us. And yes, he's conceded 89 goals in that time, but he's actually done pretty well, conceding just 46 goals in 36 appearances this year. And with Tortilli being his backup goalkeeper and actually having 2 clean sheets this year in the 2 matches in the league, it's a good sign. The fact he's also a perfectionist, the fact he's also got a perfectionist personality really helps for the mentoring as well. Looking on the right-hand side, we got Barbini, who's actually wanted. Who wants Barbini? Frosinone? No, they're not getting him. But this guy has got 265 appearances so far. He's very, very good. And with Rossi and Pellegrino and even Natale looking like players that could potentially replace him, we've got a long-term project with these guys. And I think Rossi is probably decent. It's the unambitious personality that annoys me for him, while the mercenary personality on Natale means he's going to get some game time if he develops. But Barbini is by far and away the best right back at the moment. Alberti can play there, but I play him more as centre back. Also, this guy is, no, he's 19, he's this good already. How good he can be, I do not know. But a 6'6" giant, it would be a waste not to play him as a ball-winning defender who can do well, since that's what we use. A 16 jumping reach, a 12 heading. He's got pace 2 of 12, strength of 14, aggression of 15. He's works hard as well, so he's not perfect, but he's still 19. He's got room to grow, and for me, that is a good sign. On the other side, we got Carlucci, who is very, very good. We can play Conte in defense, which I still haven't really tried to do yet. We've got the likes of Pellegrino, who can be played as a right back and a centre back, but I don't see getting any better than a good right back, unfortunately for him. We've also got Serpi, who is never going to be much better than I think he is right now, which is a Liga Pro player. So again, he needs to improve very much in the future. We've got Andrea Ferretti, who is a left back and a centre back. He's consistent. He's got potential to grow. Whether he gets that potential, I do not know. But then we got the like of Gallardi, who is a model citizen and he's only 17 and he's improving quite rapidly. He plays a left back, but can also play as a centre back, which again, if we don't use this guy, I think I would have failed him if he does not become a Serie A player in the future. That's all I'm going to say. If he does not become a Serie A player in my time, then we have failed him massively. And also with the like of Rossi coming in the intakes as well, and potentially could be good enough to be a ball-winning defender. If he grows and improves his vision, then we've got a lot of good things to look forward to in defense. And yeah, we got Cesar Pare also could do really well in the future growing wise, but he needs to improve first and foremost, and I think he can improve. He's got the potential to be decent, like a Serie A player, I feel at least. But again, it's nice. Well, this guy is 18 years of age. He has potential to grow. I don't think he's really done it yet, and that hurts me to say that is the case. But again, if this guy can grow, then we've got good signs ahead of us. We then got the likes of DiBiase at left back. He's a decent player right now. He's also 27, so he is going to be someone that will have to look over his shoulders in the future, because he's got good players in the left side looking to take his place, like Gallardi, for example. We know he's already growing. He can be good, but we need him as a wingback on support, which he could actually do a decent job at, actually, if given the game time. So yeah, this guy, under 20s at the moment, could be pretty good there. We've then also got the like of Andrea Malika. So again, decent player, has potential to grow, hasn't really done a lot as of yet, but I feel he could be very, very good for us. And then we got Isaac Ashan, who is starting to develop, I think, which for me is very, very promising. Yes, his dribbling and his crossing let him down for the wingback position, but honestly, I can see him doing it and becoming better and better. He's definitely getting better in the physicals too. Having the youth intakes and having everything else is great. He's consistent, he's brave. We need more of this. If we can get this guy to become a superstar, then I'm very happy indeed. And he's both sides of the pitch, both footed. So if we can't play on one side, we can play on the other side. So it works either way for me. In the middle of the pitch, we've got Fantozzi, who is 28, the oldest player in the team. He's got a new deal, which is keeping until 2039, which will make him, well, around 32 by the time his contract expires, which is not the end of the world. But if he has a serious injury, then his season's already done. His career might be done and dusted. We've got the likes of Brazzoni, who can play in the middle as a ball-winning midfielder on defend and support, so not ideal of this. He's also a roaming playmaker at best. I feel he's a roaming playmaker. But playing him as a deep line playmaker on support can also be his goal, can also be what you can do from him. But with Conte being our main man in the midfield and being very, very good, I feel like this guy is our talisman for the future. 20 determination, 18 work rate, deep line playmaker on support. He runs to the ball often, which kind of negates a few of his positive traits, sadly for us. But again, it's not the end of the world. But we got the likes of Pigneri, who can play in that position. He's an attacking midfielder. Basenti can also play there too. So that's why I was heartbroken I saw his injury happen. But you also got the likes of Fugazo, who can also play in the midfield when we need him to. So he's very versatile in that regards. But I've also got the likes of Francesco Dai, who I feel can be very, very good if he develops. He hasn't really done much yet, but he's still only 15. He's got a lot of time to grow. And with the likes of Gabrielini also being able to be good and potentially develop, that's also a positive sign in this situation. But he's 19 now, so might need some more time to grow. As does the like of Dennis Bertaccini. He is a strange combination of a player. He can play on the right side of the pitch. He can be decent. He has got given game time. I've given him 5 games on the bench this season and various positions because he can play there. He can also play as a deep line playmaker on support. I think the problem we have is we don't have a lot of players that can play as a ball-winning midfielder or box-to-box. If we have a player that can play box-to-box, then we have those. Ball-winning midfielders, we don't seem to have a lot of those, sadly enough. And if we are struggling with that, then you can only imagine how bad it could be for us in the future. But this guy technically could be a ball-winning midfielder if we needed him to be. So maybe that is his role in the future if he's not going to be a deep-line playmaker. I don't know. Let me know what you think about this guy and his potential, because I think he's got a lot of room to grow in. But we've also got the likes of Gregorio Faria Marini, who is a player that I am playing as a ball-winning midfielder on support ahead of the deep-line playmaker because he's more of a centre midfielder on defend. He's kind of good, but he's not amazing at the same time. Given game time, then he could do well. He's had 3 appearances from the bench this year. I think he needs a loan spell to redevelop now, and if we can get that development, then he's going to be good. On the right side of the pitch, we've got Roberto Brondi. Now, he has been very good for us. 53 goals in 270 appearances. He's also our most highest earner of the club now, with 22.5 grand a week. He's only good enough for Serie B, apparently, and a decent Serie A right winger. And honestly, this is probably the one area that we are weak in terms of depth. I say that even though we've got Lenzi, who has at times, been very good. 10 goal contributions this year, 7 goals. His best return in terms of goal scoring this season. But again, we need more depth. We don't have a lot of depth here. We've got Sakagner, who I don't really see getting much better. He's 22 years of age now. I think his potential has kind of withered away, sadly. We've got Luigi Riga, who hasn't really developed, unfortunately. He needs a loan spell to really shine now. But with Mapele coming into the first team, coming into the youth intake, and actually developing quite nicely, I think he could be the future on the right-hand side. He's one of our other teams too, so this is a man we need to develop. And I think if we can get him developing, that is a very promising sign indeed. On the left-hand side, we've got Luigi Lucchini, again, a player that had potential, but he's now 22 years of age. He's had a decent season. Probably his second best season. His best season since we've got promoted last year. It was a bit completely woeful, but this year he's kind of become a better player. I guess it's because we've also started. No, it's the same amount of starts as last year. He's had more bench appearances last year, so maybe that's a thing. But he was okay at times this season. Isn't going to set the world alight, unfortunately, as an inverted winger. Pigneri might also be his replacement in that regards, but then you've also got the likes of Ranzato, who is 16, could be very good if he gets past his casual personality, which I need to really sort out in the future, so I don't have to worry about him not developing. We've also got John Abbott, who can also play as there on the left-hand side, but he's not an inverted winger, I feel, because he's very weak on his right foot. He's more of a striker, I think, and with people wanting my young players now, it's a sign that maybe we've got a good scenario to come into. And then we've got Andrea Marcelli, who could also potentially come into the future. I don't know. It's a strange situation to be in, but at the same time, we've got some good talents here. So we've already talked about Pigneri. He's the main man in the middle now. Fofana is kind of the backup at this point in this position, as well as a backup as a striker, and he's only a leading pro player now. A good Serie B player in the future. Got the winning goal against Fiorentina, but apart from that, he kind of did nothing at the end of the day. He got less goals than his XG suggested he would, and that's a concern for me. We got Sayoti, who I had so much hope for, but has never really developed. I guess I didn't really give him the game time, but I think this guy could be someone we could let go soon, or send out on loan, which is a bit annoying because I felt he could have developed nicely. Basenti, we know, can be good. He has already got a goal this year, came off the bench. He broke his foot though, so I'm hoping that does not hinder him. This is one position I think we've got a lot of room to grow, and when you got When Zato, a bot, and Dai also potentially able to play in this role, you've got a very strong attacking midfielder position, really. In the striking position, Oliver is the main man by some distance, but then you got players like Fofana we've shown already. Bondi who could play there as well. Picneri can also potentially get some damage there. Bosenti actually did play there at times last year. And then we got a bot who I think could be the replacement for the main man in the future. If he does not develop, if he starts to fall off the pace, I think Jonabot could be our man to be the main striker in the future. That is me being honest and saying this. I don't know if that will be the case, but I'm hoping that we got a player like this guy who is very quick, at 15 acceleration, 12 pace, 15 agility, that can do a lot of damage, 13 heading too. He's got a lot of things to be excited about. Yes, he's a poacher, but I don't want to use a poacher. I want to use more and more. He needs to improve his passing and his work rate, which we can absolutely do. Dribbling is already starting to improve. But he's also consistent, which is Oliver is not. So get this guy to develop and we've got a very good talent indeed. I'm excited for the future of this team. And I don't think we're going to do well. I think we're going to be struggling to get in the top half again next year. But again, 16 wins, 11 draws, 11 defeats. 3 points off European football. This has been a very successful season. If we can get into Europe, then that's great. And talking of Europe, the Europa Conference League has finally seen its first ever double winner. Real Betis have become the first ever team to win the competition twice in the competition's history. They did it by beating Stade Rennais in the final. So yes, we now have a team that's won it twice for the very first time. We've had many teams that have been in the final multiple times. So Real Betis has probably been in the final more times than anyone else, doing it 3 times. Which is kind of ironic when you look at it this way. But Fulham won it. We're actually in the final 2 times. So actually, Fulham were the first team to get in the final 3 times and lose 2 in a row. So yes. Lazio have won and lost it 2 in a row. Look at Torino. Torino, a few years ago, were in the Europa Conference League final, and now they're being relegated twice from Serie A. Can you imagine the embarrassment for that? I couldn't. Either way, though, we are going to end this here as we look at some more winners as well, because I'm actually curious now. Sociedad actually won the Europa League twice in a row. It's kind of impressive thinking about it. Benfica won the Europa League, beat Valencia in the final. And this year, Real Madrid beat Bayern Munich in the Champions League final. We're going to end this here. Hope you guys have actually enjoyed yourselves. Hope you guys like and share this video. And let me know what you thought if you got this far. And I'm curious to see what you think we're going to do next year. Let me know in the comments below. And until then, until next time, bye-bye.